Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Today, we will be talking about the observation research method. Today, we will talk about the different types of observation methods, the advantages and the disadvantages of those methods. Firstly, what is observation? Observation is a research study that offers the social research a distinct way of collecting data. It does not rely on what people say, what they do, what they say they think. It is more direct than that. It draws on the direct evidence of the eye to the witness event at first hand. It is based on the premise that, for certain purposes, it is based to observe what actually happens. There are four types of observation methods, which is the participant observation, non-participant observation, structured observation, and the unstructured observation. Firstly, the participant observation. Participant observation is a form of qualitative data collection that involves the immersion of researchers into the environment of the subjects for a period of time. Howlett and Beck 2009 defines participant observation as a qualitative research method in which the researcher immerses herself or himself in the setting being studied in order to gain a first-hand understanding of the daily lives of the people studies. There are plenty of reasons why one would prefer this research method. Because of its unique characteristics, it makes it yield much better results. The advantages of the research of the participant observation. Firstly, one might choose to use participant observation as a research method because it allows for in-depth first-hand observation of a group or community. The researcher gets rich in-depth data because the researcher is immersed in the setting and has the opportunity to experience firsthand the lives of the people being studied. Secondly, insights. It can help to reveal information about a group or community that is not readily available through other methods. Thirdly, basic equipment. Participant observation uses the researcher's self as the main instrument of research and therefore requires little by the way of technical and statistical support. Another reason would make participant observation a preferred method above other research method is that it can help build trust and rapport with the people being studied, which can lead to more honest and accurate data. Moreover, participant observation can lead to greater understanding of a group's culture and behavior. Since the researcher is part of the setting, they can see and hear things that they might not be able to access through other methods. For example, they might observe interactions or hear conversations that wouldn't be shared anywhere else. The disadvantages of participant observation. Firstly, access. There is limited options open to the researcher about which roles to adapt or settings to participate in. Secondly, commitment. Participant observation can be a very demanding method in terms of personal commitment and personal resources. Thirdly, the danger. Participant observation can be hazardous for researchers physically, psychologically, legally, and socially. Also, reliability. The dependence on the self of the researcher and on the use of field notes as data leads to a lack of verifiable data. So reliability is open to doubt. Now we are moving on to the second type of observation, which is the non-participant observation. Non-participant observation is when the researcher observes from a distance without engaging in the group's activity. This method helps reduce the influence of the observer on the behavior on the participants. The researcher observes from an external position without interacting directly with the group or context under observation. According to methodologists Martinez and Rodriguez, non-participant observation is carried out in two different ways. that allows the researcher to examine the content and behavior of the group under study without intervening directly. The advantage of non-participant observation. Firstly, the direct detachment makes it easier to avoid bias that would arise from a personal immersion in the observed situation. Secondly, it allows the researcher to capture the dynamics and interactions of the group in real time, providing a more authentic and spontaneous view of the situation. The disadvantage of participant observation. By being physically distanced from the object of the study, the researcher may lack and nuanced understanding of the social interaction and context that shape participants' behavior. Secondly, the observer is not present at the study site but relies on external documentary sources to gather information about the group. Thirdly, many interactions analysis study of the type described by Beckman and Goldman 1997 relies upon a small number of observers to categorize all the data. Moving on to the structured observation. Structured observation is a systematic method of data collection in which the researcher uses a pre-established framework such as a checklist or coding scheme to observe and record specific behavior or events in a consistent and replicable manner. It is commonly used in qualitative research to collect data that can be analyzed statistically and compared across different settings or time periods. The advantages of structured observation. Direct data collection. It directly records what people do as distinct from what they say or do. Secondly, systematic and rigorous. The use of an observation schedule provides an answer to the problem associated with the selective perspective of observers, and it appears to reduce objective observation. Thirdly, efficiency. It provides a means for substantial amounts of data in a relatively short time span. And also reliability. When properly established, it should achieve high levels of inter-observer reliability in the sense that two or more observers using a schedule could record very similar data. The disadvantages of structured observation. If participants know they are being observed, their behavior may change, reducing the validity of the data. Secondly, some behaviors may be difficult to fit into strict categories, leading to oversimplification or misclarification. Thirdly, contextual information. Observers' schedules by themselves tend to miss contextual information, which is a bearing on the behavior recorded. It is a holistic approach. Lastly, we are going to talk about the unstructured observation. This is an open-ended and exploratory in nature. The researcher does not rely on a fixed checklist, but instead record all relevant phenomena. This method is suitable for exploratory studies and captures complex and nuanced information. However, it may result in large amounts of unorganized data and is prone to be subjective. Moving on to the advantages of unstructured observation. Firstly, researchers can adapt their focus during observation, responding to unexpected events or behaviors that arise. Secondly, it often occurs in natural environment without interference. It can yield more authentic data. The disadvantages of unstructured observation. Without predefined categories, observation may become unfocused, leading to the collection of irrelevant or excessive data. Also, observations are not standardized. It is difficult for the other researchers to replicate the study or compare findings. In conclusion, observation offers the social researcher a distinct way of collecting data. It does not rely on what people say they do and what they say they think. It is more direct than that. Instead, it draws from the direct evidence of the eye to witness events at first hand. The types of observation research method, which include participant observation, non-participant observation, structured observation, and unstructured observation. Thank you for your time.